Hey guys, Gabby with IdeateTV here. I am talking to Crystal of Generational Healing, and she's just going to tell us a little bit about, what we can expect. Crystal, what is one of the biggest misconceptions of what it is that you do?
So many people struggle in life with different issues, and a lot of the pain and suffering that we are dealing with today actually goes back to an ancestor's unhealed trauma. And so what happens is when someone is left something unhealed, that continues to get passed down within the bloodline and within the family lineage. And so it continues and continues one generation to the next. And so like with generational healing, what's possible is healing is possible for that thing. Those issues that you continue to struggle with, you can't quite get over. A lot of it can be embedded in the ancestral trauma. So with generational healing, we work directly with the ancestors to heal that trauma and release that density from what you're carrying.
Yeah, that's so cool. And what does that look like? How does that healing of generational trauma it sounds like when you've got years and years and years and years of just impacted trauma, it's probably going to take some time to really unpack all that. But how would you say a session operates, or what does that healing process look like?
Yeah, so each time someone comes in to receive generational healing, there is one ancestor that steps forward and communicates his or her story, because the person that is on the table receiving is the carrier of that trauma, and it's affecting them either emotionally, mentally, physically, even spiritually. And so what's happening is when they're just open to receiving the healing from the ancestor, and generational healers are working with the ancestor to heal that trauma with the ancestor. So there's nothing you need to know about your lineage or what you think needs to be healed or fixed. And by the time the session's complete, the ancestor receives that healing, as does the person. And most people sit up, they feel so much lighter and brighter, more peaceful, calm, happier. Definitely. They get to experience more of who they truly are versus the pain and suffering that's been continued down within the lineage.
And is everybody's story is so different, I'm sure. There's multiple different types of trauma. And is there any story that really resonated with you at all, of anybody that you've healed?
Oh my goodness, I have so many, I guess you could say, testimonials of what people share. The one that sticks out the most right now is a woman came to see me, and of course she said she had extreme anxiety, multiple panic attacks every single day. It affected every area of her life, her finances, her business, her friendships, relationships, her choices to engage with social activities. It impacted her life daily. And she came in for a session, and what happened was the ancestor stepped forward and communicated her story with me, and I worked with that. And the woman sat up and she looked at me and she's like, my mind has never been this quiet before. This peaceful. And it was so beautiful to witness that calming effect on her. And in a week, she messaged me and she's like, Crystal, I haven't had a panic attack all week. And she would have multiple every day. And 2.5 months later, she messaged me and said she was off all her medication. And she hadn't had any anxiety. And 2.5 years later, she even reached out and was like, oh my gosh, generational healing totally was a life changer for her in the respect of what she was dealing with and struggling with. And I hear lots of stories like that based in what each person is struggling with within their families. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that story, which is amazing. And also just giving us a little bit more insight into what generational healing does. And thanks for talking with us today. For Ideate TV, I'm Gabby.